Welcome to the Albert and Billy Show on WUAT Radio and Channel 18 Valley TV. Hello, Papa.
I'm Albert.
Oh, heck.
I thought they might not know which was which.
Well, by Georgie, now they do.
I'm the older one.
Right. And Papa is a little bit under the weather today, so we're going to try to get way down. But we got some announcements for you. I want to remind radio listeners this Saturday, yes, it will be this Saturday, it's the 10th, John Brown and Company, along with Chris Orr and Piney Grove, will be performing at the Nickel Road Music Hall. It's bluegrass and gospel, and it's sponsored by Reverend Darrell Gibbs. Showtime 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 at the door. And then the 16th, that's going to be on Friday, Kerry Hassler and the Nickel Road Band will be doing their variety show that night. It features country, blues, and bluegrass. Showtime is 7 p.m. and tickets are $10. And Saturday the 17th, folks, is the next Rook tournament. Come play Rook at the Nickel Road Music Hall. I'm asked all the time, people say, I'm not good enough. Trust me, you don't have to be good to play in this.
I bet you think you have to be lucky, don't you?
I think you do have to have a little luck, absolutely. The cards have to fall your way, let's put it that way, but it's not serious, is my point. So just come out and have a good time. It's on a Saturday, the 17th of this month. It'll be at the Nickel Road Music Hall. Starts at 3 p.m. Tickets are $20. That's per team, though, not per individual. Prizes awarded to the top 3 teams, and concessions are available. And then on Saturday, March the 31st, Grandview Pickers will be in concert at the Nickel Road Music Hall. They are bluegrass and gospel, and showtime for that is also 7 p.m. and tickets are $10. So that's some of the upcoming shows at the Nickel Road Music Hall.
I saw them practicing over here one day on the street.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them, isn't it?
And you said that it's not serious. It would be serious for me because I want to win one of those prizes.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't have to be a Rook expert. Let's put it that way. This is an important thing. Allie, if you can zoom in on this. Ricky Brown, he was a great man that died way too soon, I think. And they have a memorial scholarship fund for Ricky, and this is going to be a memorial scholarship breakfast. It's going to be on March the 24th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Sequatchie Valley Electric Co-op. And they'll have eggs, bacon, sausage, gravy biscuit, fried potatoes to eat. To drink, you can have an orange juice, milk, coffee, water. If you'd like to sponsor, remember all proceeds go to the Ricky Brown Memorial Scholarship Fund. And they're also going to have a hog raffle. One ticket is $5. 5 tickets is $20. And the drawing will be at 10 a.m. that day. For more information, call Seth Brown at 423-326-5960, Chase Brown at 443-8741, or Drake Brown at 619-2252.
What would you do if you won that? What would you do with the hog?
Find somebody to cook it.
You have to kill it first.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's done dead.
No.
Well, we'll find somebody to cook it for us. And an Easter egg hunt with the Easter bunnies coming up, folks, at the Mount Crest United Methodist Church. That's also on Saturday, March the 24th, starting time 2 p.m. They'll have the Easter story, Easter crafts, a bake sale, Joyous Carol with Wesley and friends, pictures with the Easter bunny, an Easter egg hunt, and cookies and drinks. That's also, once again, on Saturday, March the 24th, Mount Crest United Methodist Church at 2 p.m.
30 West.
Yeah, Highway 30 West. Right, they're literally right beside Wheeler Elementary School.
About 11.5-minute drive. You can't dispute
Very detailed.
You can't dispute that because you don't know.
No.
Okay. Okay, I have some I would like to share with the folks.
Okay.
For instance, Pikeville United Methodist Church is beginning a ministry that will last for a year instead of an annual deal.
Oh.
They're going to have a bargain basement,
Mm-hmm.
and they're located right here just about 2 blocks away on Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
They have an annual rummage sale every spring.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be for a year. And it's going to be on Saturdays from 9 till 2, the first Saturday of the month. And then also be on the third Thursday of the month. So you have 2 days in a month that you can select clothing, miscellaneous items, household items. You would never know what they would have, because a lot of that stuff will be donated from their members, or other people in the community will donate, because these and they're all at affordable prices. They're cut down to the bone, I'm sure. And the proceeds of all that they collect for that year will be used for their mission endeavors as a church.
Well, good. It's for a really good
cause.
cause.
On the local level or across the ocean, whatever. Well,
it's for a good cause either way, isn't it?
Got worldwide missions too.
That's true.
All right, we have also, we want to share with you, the Second Chance Pet Group Spay and Neuter Helpline is open, and that number is 554-4442. And those people that are on the other end of the line waiting on you to call are volunteers. So they may not be there exactly when you call, but you leave a message. You give them your name. You don't have to give them the name of your pet, but you tell them what you want done with that pet.
That's right.
Spay or neuter. And they will be happy to return your call.
That's right.
This is part of their theme, Fix Your Critter, be a part of the solution.
Let's see, what? Prevent a litter.
Prevent a litter.
Yeah, see, fix your critter, prevent a litter, be part of the solution. We should know that.
Many times that I've done that. And also at the Pikeville United Methodist Church, coming up on March the 11th. That'll be Sunday.
I think.
March 14th.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It even says Wednesday.
March the 11th. That's this Sunday. That can't be Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, March 14th.
Oh. I thought that was the 11th.
Yeah, that's an H, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, you give it.
Hey, you're doing good. You got the date right now.
Good. Haven't told him what it is yet. You will be in a position to have a free concert presented to you by the Maryville College Concert Choir. Free performance.
Wow.
And the intent of this performance that is free at the Pikeville United Methodist Church is to benefit our local food bank.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Somewhere during, and it's at 7 o'clock, somewhere during the night there's going to have to be some money change hands.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's free and you're going to benefit the food bank.
Yeah.
Okay, go for
I
it.
guess you're going to have to bring some food. Maybe that's what they want.
You know, they should bring canned goods.
That's right. It don't say on there to bring canned goods, but we're going to say it. If it's for the food bank, they're probably wanting you to bring a little bit of canned goods.
Half a dozen cans.
Yeah, something. Bring something for them.
They had Lux Pinto beans on sale last week, 2 for $1 up at Piggly Wiggly. I got 8 cans.
Oh, you did good.
50 cents a can.
Oh, always the bargainer.
Yeah.
You're good at that.
I try to save money.
That's good.
I'll be rich on it.
Well, what is... Well, we don't have to do last week's trivia because it wasn't questions, really. So now it's this week's. But what have you got in store?
All right, now, what I want to do, I want to give some biographical sketches, short biographical sketches of famous people. Like, for instance, the Lone Ranger. Would you say the Lone Ranger is famous?
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the Lone Ranger?
Well, as much as I can be. I mean,
But did you know that he used silver bullets?
now that you say that, yeah. I'd forgotten though.
Well, the Lone Ranger came on the scene in 1949.
Well, Lord, no wonder I don't know.
Well, right. He was the sole Texas Ranger that survived a battle with the hole-in-the-wall gang. And so he protected his identity, since he was the last survivor, with a mask.
Yeah, I remember that.
Black mask. And then he got an Indian friend to help him. I don't think he was a friend, but he became a friend.
Okay. Was Tonto or something?
Tonto. They weren't together right then. But he wanted to rid the West of outlaws, because the hole-in-the-wall gang, they killed a lot of people.
They were the bad guys.
They were the bad guys. And Tonto comes on the scene then later. He is Mohawk. He's from the tribe of the Mohawk Indians.
Okay.
And he had been, Clayton had been working in a circus, and Tonto, his name was Jay Silverheels. Tonto was the name he took on as an identity in the Lone Ranger series. It lasted for 8 years, by the way, on television when they started.
You mean the actor is Jay Silverheels?
His name is Jay Silverheels. And he was just as an Indian. He never did have a name. He's just an Indian in movies. He had been in movies since '38, and so
was he even an Indian?
Yeah.
Well, you know I say that because back then they would paint their faces.
Well, he was a real Indian though, Jay Silverheels. But anyway, after the show was canceled, it lasted for 8 years. Clayton decides to keep up the Lone Ranger identity by going around and performing, putting on shows here and there, you know. And he had his horse, Silver. Tonto had his horse, Scout. So they were cashing in on it. And they did that until '75. And the man that owned the rights to the Lone Ranger identity, he sues Clayton Moore.
Wow.
And he says, you can't do that. I have the rights to the Lone Ranger. You cannot be the Lone Ranger. And they went to court.
Wow.
The court ruled in the favor of the man that really owned everything.
Really?
And so Clayton then didn't get to wear his black mask anymore. In 1999, he died at heart attack at 85.
Oh, okay.
Bela Lugosi. Now, who's Bela Lugosi?
Oh, I think he's one of them that played in scary movies.
A vampire.
Yeah, he was Dracula, maybe.
Well, he was a vampire.
One of them.
Yeah, Dracula. That would be the one. Well, he was an actor over in Hungary for 20 years. And then he decided to come to America, and he did in 1927. And he was working on Broadway, on the stage, as Dracula. And one of the movie theaters, movie outfits, Universal, saw him and put him, the first horror movie with speech. He was cast as the lead role as Dracula. And he became an instant hit because he was
Count Dracula.
He was everything everybody expected him to be.
Right.
And he could have had the lead role in Frankenstein. But he decided to give it up, and he gave it over to his friend, Boris Karloff.
Why'd he do that?
I don't know why.
That's pretty stupid, wasn't it?
And Lon Chaney was the original Wolfman, and Lon Chaney has died. So the competitiveness between these two men for all the horror pictures, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, continues for years. Okay.
Allie's eating one of your brownies. It's not his? Oh, okay.
But Bela was
good. I was about to get it.
Bela worked for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
And
you saying they were rivals after he gave that part to him?
yeah, because those were the only two well-known horror film, and you get typecast, and then you can't be a lover.
I don't think that was very smart on his part, do you?
No, it wasn't, I don't think. But anyway, he in 1955 he married his fifth wife, and
right.
he died of a heart attack, proving that you didn't have to have a stake driven in the heart of a vampire.
That's right.
Or a silver bullet. But he requested that his cape be buried with him.
Oh, wow.
And they did. And the reports came out that he was a pauper at death, and Frank Sinatra paid for his funeral.
Oh, okay.
Frank Sinatra.
Well, what about that?
I'm going to do one or two more.
Okay.
Ernest Hemingway. Now, do you know who Ernest Hemingway is?
Well, I've heard of him, obviously, yeah.
He was a very, very famous author.
Mm-hmm.
And Hemingway liked to hunt in Africa, and he liked to go to Spain for the bullfights.
Oh, the running of the bulls.
Running the bulls. And so he was, in 1929, he came on the scene. He wrote Farewell to Arms, and it became a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think every book he wrote became a movie.
Probably so.
He was good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in the late 30s, he came up with the book Snows of Kilimanjaro. And I remember Stuart Granger was the man that played the lead role in that movie. And then he came up with For Whom the Bell Tolls.
I've heard of that.
That was a famous book, and it became a very famous movie. And then he quit for many years, and in 1952 he came out with The Old Man in the Sea.
Yeah.
I read that
too,
one,
of course.
and I would like to read it again. I mean, it.
So it's that good.
It won the Pulitzer Prize for Book of the Year at that time. And he was living in Cuba, and when Castro came on the scene with the revolution took over, he had to move, so he came to Idaho. And his health was declining. He had had a plane crash in Africa. He had high blood pressure. He had hepatitis. He was in and out of hospitals. He couldn't write, and he was just getting more and more depressed. So one night his wife went to sleep. He took his favorite shotgun that he had been using to hunt with.
I thought he struggled with depression.
Oh, yeah. And he took both barrels at a time and killed himself. Triggered both. He was only 61 years old.
Well, he meant to die, didn't he?
These famous people, many of them die young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Margaret Mitchell, what did she write?
Well, I can't remember at the moment. Yeah.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Okay, at 27, she'd written over 100 stories for the Atlanta Journal to put in there.
Okay.
And her second husband encouraged her to write, and so she started typing and writing a book, and she worked on it for 3 years. And she came out with the book Gone with the Wind. And in this book, it covers the Civil War. It covers the Reconstruction era from the Southern point of view. Everything is from the Southern point of view. And after 6 years of checking out her historical accuracy, the book took off in 1936. 1,037 pages.
Really
I think
took
it
off.
takes you 4 years to 4 hours to watch the movie.
Gosh.
It sold
But it's one of those probably.
It's a classic.
Yeah, a lot of times long movies like that, yeah, they're long, but it don't really seem like it.
No, you don't want
if
to
they're
quit.
good, you don't want it to.
You don't want it to quit. She sold 2 million copies of that book in a year. And the next year it won the Pulitzer Prize for Best Book. They paid her $50,000 to make it into a movie. And it broke
$50,000.
It broke box office records at that time. And
I mean, today that'd be millions and
oh,
millions.
no telling what they'd give her for a book like that.
She got gypped.
But she never wrote again. She had written 100 stories prior to writing that book. She spent years on that book. But she couldn't write a sequel to it because it told about everything. It told about the build up to the Civil War and after the Civil War, everything.
Right. Right.
But anyway, in 1949, she and her husband went to a movie as they crossed Peachtree Street. I know we've been there, been across it. Arm in arm. A car sped up toward them, and she turned to go back to the curb, and she was hit and killed at 48.
Okay. I'm going to let my producer back in. A lot of commotion going on today. Allie.
Have you noticed?
Whew.
Have you noticed?
Because somebody else came in too.
I want to do one more.
Whew. Okay.
Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was one of my most famous authors. I
remember him too.
Some of the work he did. Some of it's scary. He was 3 years old, and both parents died.
Dang.
And so
What a start.
Later on, he enlisted in the Army, and he wrote 18 books. And then he got dismissed from West Point because of alcoholism. He moved in with an aunt.
I can see why. I mean, gosh.
The aunt had a daughter, Virginia. She's 13 years old. Well, he has an eye for her, and
But whoa, what? Is that not be his cousin?
well, and they
Not to mention she's 13 and probably his first cousin.
her daughter Virginia, and she's 13, and they married in 1836. And then he was good at what he did, but his alcoholism made him have to change jobs because he couldn't keep a job very long.
So you'd have to be drunk to marry your first cousin.
But in the next 10 years, he spent time between Philadelphia and New York, and he wrote The Fall of the House of Usher. And that was his best work to that time, and then The Telltale Heart. But his alcoholism caused him he couldn't stay anywhere very long.
Yeah.
Most alcoholics have to have it all the time.
Well, true. It's kind of the point.
In 1845, The Raven came out. Quoth the Raven, nevermore. I remember that part. We had to study that in school. But anyway, the audiences loved his writing. He would recite his works, and they would pay him to do that. Just recite his works. And his wife died after he'd been married 11 years. She was only 24 years old when she died. Well, that bothered him, made him drink more. That was in 1847. So
his wife, his first cousin, Allie,
Yeah.
his first cousin wife died. Wow.
But because of his alcoholism increasing after the death of his wife, one night he was found out in the street, delirious. He was put in a hospital and died 4 days later.
God.
At age 40.
Goodness. They're all creative, but they're tragic. There's something
they're geniuses.
off.
They're geniuses.
A lot of times people like that, they'll have
But he could take his
mental
pen
problems.
and just start writing, and these wonderful stories would come out.
Right.
You got to have a plot before you write.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't start writing and then let the plot develop. You got to
I
create
wouldn't think
characters.
so.
You got to create scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got to do some research.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's my
All that talent to waste.
yeah, that's my trivia.
All right. Well, let's
Did you
talk
like
about
that?
some sports.
Did you like that?
Well, yeah, I didn't know Edgar Allan Poe married his first cousin.
13 years old.
And she was 13.
That's awful young, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, people married younger way back then.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know they married their first cousins, though.
Well, I guess it has been done before. I guess it has been done before.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Sports of all sorts.
I'm sure there's plenty of incest, Papa.
Is that what you call it? I didn't know what you called it.
Well, let's talk. Let's go from talking incest to talking sports.
Be a good switch. Be a
Be a real
switch.
good switch, wasn't it?
Basketball. The SEC Tennessee Women's Tournament. Wow.
Boy, can't Holly coach, I tell you what. They ought to give that genius a raise.
I'm sure she'll get one.
She's so smart, I
They're
tell
going to raise
you.
her up to the first row of seats in the second row.
They barely beat Auburn. Then they missed 1,000 layups the next day against South Carolina.
Could you miss that
I
many layups?
don't know.
But here's the thing. Tennessee beat South Carolina twice during the year.
But there's one key to
No,
that.
there's two keys.
Well,
one you're saying is Angel Wilson.
Of course.
She didn't play those first two games.
And that's their best player.
She scored 24 points in the game they won by 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
But they also, by the law of averages, it's hard to beat a good team
three times. It is.
It's just too hard.
Well, that's why they should play up to their competition every day. They had sorry losses against teams they should have beat, and it caused them to have a number 7 seed.
Number 7.
Which is probably the all-time low for them.
Now what are we going to do in the NCAA?
I hope they do great, but I'm sure not. You know, how can you expect them to?
They won't have a good seed.
No. And how in the world can you expect a lot of them? I don't know what they run on offense, but it's downright ugly.
Well, I saw where Barnes is going to change, make a little wrinkle.
Barnes is a good coach.
No, but for the tournament, he's going to implement a zone.
That's good.
Yeah, he's going to cross them up.
He actually knows what he's doing. She don't. She just don't.
Well, the SEC tournament ended up with South Carolina winning.
Yeah.
They won the
They
whole
upset
show.
Mississippi State, who was undefeated.
Undefeated, 32-0.
Which they had beat South Carolina a few weeks prior.
They had to beat him 32-0.
They did, yeah. With Asia Wilson. They're pretty evenly matched. Which we got to remember, this is a Mississippi State team that beat UConn last year in the tournament. Of course they're a good team.
They're a good team.
And they went undefeated until, you know, the very end of the conference tournament. So that's, I wouldn't mind him coaching the Lady Vols either.
I'd say he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well,
but the men, I think, is going to have a good year.
The Tennessee men
postseason
took on Georgia last Friday night at home.
Boy, that was
whole conference
a nail biter.
championship hanging in the balance.
Trailed the whole way.
And they came around and beat that team.
That was a good game to watch, wasn't it? I mean, it kept you on the edge of your seat, but it ended real good.
Well, Barnes had seen Georgia be victorious each and every time he'd played them before. He never had beat Georgia.
I didn't know that.
He never had beat them.
Did he play them much, though, since he coached Texas?
He'd been there 3 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he was glad that he finally got a win over Georgia.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to think that he had a bad luck deal.
Exactly. Don't want to let them get in your head.
But Tennessee finished up 23-7.
That's a good record for...
and 13-5 in the conference. I can't remember having that good of a record in the conference, 13-5.
Maybe under Bruce Pearl, but definitely not since. Not even close since.
We won the game.
And what about that? We come back and beat Georgia.
66-61.
But I literally trailed most of that game.
Well,
nearly the whole game.
That 3 would have been the difference in the game. It was 66, 65. Well, the two foul shots made it 66. We were only ahead 64-61.
Yeah.
3 tied it.
Those foul shots gave us room to breathe. And share the SEC championship for the first time in years.
Well, since
Bruce Pearl.
I think it's been 19. Let's see, how many years has it been?
It's
been a long time.
It's been 10 or 11 years.
The last
time
that we had a championship was in 1999. Burt Bertelkamp was Crosby.
Who?
Crosby, Burt Bertelkamp. That was the team that they cut down the nets.
We didn't win a regular season champion under Bruce Pearl.
1999. I read that today.
Oh, okay.
And
I would have thought we would have.
Barnes got Coach of the Year in the SEC.
Holly sure won't.
And Williams got Player of the Year in the SEC.
Yeah, and that's good. He did have a good year.
And first team All-SEC player. And the second team went to Schofield.
Yeah, and he's the one that's playing.
He's playing
All SEC right now.
He's playing over his head right now.
Yeah, he is. I think they can make a good deep run in the tournament. Don't you?
Well, I'd like to think they can.
But it's the talent, the coaching, everything's there put in place for them to make a deep run.
All right.
If they can just do it.
I'll agree.
We'll have to see how they do in the conference tournament, but they get a double bye, so they'll be fresh.
Well, and then while the other teams are playing a game today, going to have to play a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're getting that rest period.
Yeah, I think that's key.
It is.
That probably even played into the girls' tournament. You know, Tennessee had to play the night before and barely won on the last second three-pointer, and South Carolina had rest. So it definitely pays off to play well in the regular season, to get advantages like that, to get a bye.
Tennessee, I think two things helped them win that game against Georgia. Georgia went cold after the first half. We held, and then our defense improved.
Yeah, it picked up.
They only scored 19 points in the second half.
I know.
Second half?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad. That's nine and a half points a quarter?
I'd like to think it's because of our defense, but I think it's a little
some of
both.
they went cold.
I think so too.
Bless their heart. I have. But we had, overall, Tennessee had a good year. I knew the way we were playing, we were going to have a good year.
Yeah, and really should have beat North Carolina.
Yeah, you can get the almost in there.
Yeah, almost beat Villanova. Did beat Purdue. They got some good wins. Swept Kentucky.
And you know, Kentucky is not even in the top 25.
I know. It's weird.
I've never seen that. Well, they did it once this year, but they pulled back up.
Yeah, they did.
And
they did.
And now they're back down there again.
They're not playing like typical Kentucky. But of course, they're always a threat. They could get momentum and win the whole thing. You just never know.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with their coach.
No.
And he should have the material. It just hasn't gelled.
No.
It has not gelled. And after a year, after a season, he's not been able to come up with the right format.
Well, that's true. I mean, he's definitely running out of time.
Yeah, he's running out of time.
It's now or never. But the SEC tournament on the men's gets underway this week, and
Tennessee won't play till Friday, right?
Yeah. I hope they win it. They've not won the SEC tournament in a long, long time. Made the finals, but it's been a long time since they actually won it.
Well, I think overall, all in all, we had a dadgum good year from the standpoint of the men's program.
Yes.
And you know what?
To finish like what, 14th or something?
No, we're 13th.
13th.
No, I read 13th in one place and I read 12th in another.
Okay.
But the women did finish 13th.
Oh, ranking 13th.
They're ranked 13th, and I read
that's being generous too.
Mark Wiedmer said he had never seen Tennessee men and women ranked evenly. Both of them be the same place in the standings. But anyway, that's what
it's
happened.
Strange.
Now then,
strange.
Softball. Tennessee had a tournament last weekend.
How'd they do?
They went 5-0.
Well, you can't do no better than that.
They're going to be hot.
Maybe they'll win the College World Series this year. They've come close a couple times.
I'm looking forward to it being better than it's been.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Go to Oklahoma City and win it all.
And then golf. The Mexico Championship closed out last Sunday. And Phil Mickelson wound up tied at the end of regulation with Justin Thomas. And they had to have a playoff. And it only went one hole. He birdied the first hole, and Thomas didn't. So he won $1,700,000. Just $1 million.
Must be nice.
He's a left-handed golfer. And
lefty one.
but he's not a young chick by any means. He's been around.
You don't have to be in golf. You know, all other sports you have to kind of retire young, but not that sport.
Well, what do you think about King James?
Well, you can play basketball for a while too. I mean, he's
I want to show you.
not old.
This is the book that I told you I was going to do a series on the 50 greatest living athletes.
I know, and he's on the cover.
He's on the cover, #1, and they call him King James.
I just don't know how you determine that.
Well,
do you?
Well, you'd have to be good during it.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of great athletes in the world.
I found out why
don't
some of the ones that I thought should be on there were omitted.
And why is that?
They had criteria that you had to meet, and in their opinion, if you had a bad reputation or you did something you shouldn't do, or you thought doing it, they didn't give you much recognition, bud.
Okay. And that's fair, I guess.
Well, it'd be hard to pick out the 50 greatest living athletes on this planet.
Well, yeah, and obviously everybody's going to kind of have a different opinion of that.
Well, that's true, but when you say living athletes, you're talking about surfing, you're talking about volleyball, you're talking about gymnastics, you're talking about baseball, football, basketball.
According to you, playing marbles and Scrabble and checkers. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I forgot that.
I couldn't resist.
I forgot it. Why couldn't I remember it?
All right, well, that's it for sports.
Sports of all sorts.
Tune in next week and maybe we'll have the results of the men's SEC tournament. We'll be able to tell you where the Lady Vols and the Vols end up in the NCAA tournament. So
now the men go first, don't they?
Yeah, well, they start kind of the same time. The men start Thursday, the women will start on Friday.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And the selection Sunday's this Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll know more then. But anyway, after the break, we'll be back for Albertology right here on the Albert and Billy Show.
Yeah, come back.
Now it's time for your favorite part of the show.
Well, you don't know. Sports might be my favorite part.
We know our producer loves the sports.
Oh, I just like to see
so much.
I like to see her frown and wince.
I know she loves that segment. I tell you.
Yeah. Today I'm going to do a segment on Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is one of our presidents.
Yes.
But he's one of our living presidents.
He's from Georgia.
He's 93 years old.
Yeah.
But back in 2015, Jimmy learned that he had melanoma, and it had already permeated his brain and his liver, and his outlook was very sad, very bad.
I thought that, and then it changed.
It had spread, and they thought, well, can't do anything to control it. But they did some surgery and radiation, and a new kind of treatment that was just really out of the blue. I don't know where it came from, but anyway, it was called immunotherapy, and it worked. It worked.
Oh, really?
He's back at work.
Well, that's great.
He and his wife Rosalind, they've been married 69 years, and they have a Carter Center where they fight poverty, they wage peace, they want to fight disease, and they want to build hope. And they're doing that all around the world.
I see where he also told his wife he'll cut back on his schedule.
Well, they wanted him to, and he said he would. But because of all the demands on his time and on the schedule, he looked at all these and he said, I can't. They're depending on me. So he did not. He refused to do any cutback on his schedule. They are very involved. He works with I don't know, different different organizations. The Bill Gates Foundation is one of them.
Okay.
And he works with UNICEF. And he is just doing such a great thing. He wants to do good. That's one of the words. I want to do good.
Yeah.
And he does. I remember he got on that train down there in Georgia and said, and he'd go through all Georgia and he'd stop and he'd say, my name's Jimmy Carter, I want to be your president.
Yeah. He's much more popular now than he was then.
Oh, yeah. But he still teaches Sunday school at the little Methodist church, Maranatha Methodist Church in Plains, Georgia. Population 700.
Oh, wow.
And he still teaches Sunday school.
That's good.
And I'm sure they have a lot of visitors, people.
Oh, you know they do. You know they do. It's got to be a tourist trap, I'm sure.
But he wants to emulate the life of Christ as much as he can, and I think he's doing a very good job at it.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to speak in this microphone there, bud.
And his wife says, we work with the poorest people on the earth.
Mm.
Some of the most isolated people on the earth. One country in particular that they have worked with is New Guinea. And what they have done, back in 1986, they had in that country 3.5 million cases of a type of worm that was caused from drinking stagnant water.
Mm.
And they have reversed that trend. This last year there were only 30 cases instead of 3.5 million cases.
Goodness.
So
I would call that success. That was a major success.
It had to be almost miraculous.
I agree.
And when he was president, he thought that the two things that were the possible worst threats to humanity were global warming,
yes,
and nuclear destruction.
Oh, yeah.
But he just now recently wrote a book that's going to be released this month.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of it is Faith. And that's what he has. He has faith in the future of America. And he's still working
Well, that's good to hear.
doing everything he can to make the world a better place.
A better
to live.
place, yeah.
And they've been married 69 years. And you know,
She's probably close to 92, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. They were very active in the Habitat for Humanity movement, too.
Well, that's a very good charity organization as well.
I could work in one of those. I could carry water to people who got thirsty. There's a movie coming out next month, April 7th.
Okay.
And it's about Al Pacino is going to be the main actor. It is a film about Joe Paterno. And
wow.
It's only dealing with, though, that last phase of his life where they were dealing with the
controversy.
Sandusky fiasco, what all went on, you know.
Well, I'm sure his family is thrilled about this.
Oh, I'm sure they are. But he was the all-time winningest football coach in the history of the sport. And you know...
and we don't know what he knew and what he didn't know.
Well, we know he was fired after Sandusky was arrested.
Yeah.
And 2 months later, he died at age 85. He died at age 85.
That did him in. And I hope they had sound proof. I don't think they did have proof they knew a whole lot, though.
Well, you know, several of the administrators lost their jobs. But I think the college president has, let's see, Graham Spanier, the university president, is appealing his conviction. He's not going to, he's going to fight it.
Okay.
But 3 administrators lost their jobs. They were sentenced to prison.
Yeah, well then obviously I'm sure a lot of them knew. They didn't seem to have a whole lot of proof that Joe Paterno knew. They figured that he should have known, obviously, but we just don't know if he did or not.
No, we don't.
Just don't know.
And I'm sure the movie's not going to show that he did or didn't, because if the courts didn't do it, why should they try to do it in the movie?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with American Idol?
Of course.
Well, American Idol has some new faces.
New judges.
You know Lionel Richie?
Of course.
He's about as big as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and
all
Ryan
big
Seacrest.
stars.
But anyway, they're going to, and you know,
Ryan Seacrest, yeah, he's always been the host.
well, these other three are going to join him.
Yeah, they'll be judges.
But Carrie Underwood, that's where she got her start.
Yep, she won it in 2005 when she won. Kelly Clarkson, who's now a judge on The Voice, has also done real well for herself.
She
won the very first season.
It was the first season.
Today it's my...
I'm not going to say a word. Okay. We have a movie coming out. A Wrinkle in Time is the name of it. Coming out the 9th. That's Daphne.
Oh, I saw that preview.
Well, you've got
It looks
Oprah Winfrey,
yeah.
Reese Witherspoon, and Mindy Kaling. I don't know her.
She's kind of new.
But what it is, there was a book written by Margaret L'Engle, and it's a story about this young girl on a journey to find her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And these three women, they're celestial beings.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to help her along the way as she searches for her father. Anyway.
It looks like the special effects, though, look amazing in the preview. You'll have to see the previews for it.
Well, I'm sure they'll be coming on pretty quickly then.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a big hit.
Do you like tater tots?
Yeah, I do. I like tater tot casserole.
They hit the scene the year we were married, 1953. That's how long they've been around. And they were invented by brothers, F. Nephi Grigg and Golden Grigg. They were the ones that founded Ore-Ida Company.
Okay.
That's the #1 brand in frozen potatoes of any kind, Ore-Ida. And you know what? How come them to invent tater tots?
No.
They had to do something with leftover pieces of potatoes. You'll just think it's just all bundled together and got a crusty.
Well, that's true, but I never thought about that. But
anyway, every year we eat 70 million pounds of tater tots thanks to those two brothers.
Wow, that's a lot.
70 million pounds.
That is a lot.
Okay, ask Marilyn. Marilyn was asked, and boy, I found this out last night. My temperature went to 100. Normal human body temperature is often stated as 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Can different people have different normal body temperatures?
I think maybe so.
Well, but why? You would think a normal, but
yeah,
there is no such thing as normal.
No.
She says yes, that 98.6 degree standard is just an average.
Right. It's probably most people
normal adult temperatures may range from about 97 all the way up to 99.
When it hits 100 though, and 101, you're in trouble.
Well,
you're not feeling
for
good.
children, you don't want. Well, I guess an adult, 103 or 104.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's real bad. Yeah.
I wanted to go to the doctor last night, but I couldn't. I was too far gone. Normal temperatures for babies and children are a little higher.
Yeah.
That's what I say. They can go up to 103, 104. Okay, your normal temperature varies depending on factors such as the time of day you take it, your sleep-wake cycle, your level of activity, how old you are, and even what you've had to eat or drink. You sure wouldn't want to take your temperature after you drank a glass of iced tea.
Right, right.
Or if you had a piece of ice in your mouth.
Yeah, it wouldn't be accurate at all.
In general, medical professionals consider a temperature over 100.4 to be a fever. I was mighty close. I had on 2 pair of pajamas.
Mighty close. You said it was 102.
Well, this says 100.4. No, I didn't say 102. It said 100.
Oh, I thought you said yours got 102.
100.4 is a fever, but I had a fever because it broke at 3:57 this morning. I know when it broke.
Usually at 100 degrees, honestly, it is a fever.
Yeah. Okay. Reader's Digest.
Oh, is that the Reader's Digest?
No, well, I've got some here.
From Emily Howe. You keep telling me not to say her name.
I had to talk to her Sunday about this. She was mad. Boy.
Oh, shit.
Listen,
Well, we do love you, Miss Emily.
and she was getting 2 a week, 2 every month, and she was giving me the spare.
Oh, okay.
Well, they caught up with her. She didn't do it. They just started sending her one.
Oh, well, dang it.
I have my own personal copy. If money doesn't grow on trees, then why do banks have branches?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Whether you're rich or poor, it's always nice to have money.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That first one was funny.
A kid says, "This beef stew tastes a lot like dog food." The cook says, "Don't be ridiculous. How can cat food taste like dog food?" I don't believe I'd want either one.
No.
But I'll tell you what, I have smelled some dog. I haven't smelled any cat food that smelled good, but I've smelled some canned dog food that smells pretty damn good. I must have been awful hungry. The girl says to the boy, the boy's name is Bill, she says, "Why do you eat everything with a knife?"
Right.
He said, "Well, because my fork leaks."
Shoot.
And John says to Sally, what do caterpillars taste like?"
No, no.
How should I know? He said,
Right.
"I just saw you eat 2 in your salad."
Oh, man.
A little bit late to tell her. I like that one.
That was good.
Margie says, "This tomato soup looks good today."
Mm-hmm.
The cook said, "It's not tomato soup. I cut my finger."
Oh, God. Oh. Oh. That would be bad. Real bad.
Oh, well. Okay. Those were good.
Yeah, the last one was gross.
Listen to this one.
Okay.
This is a science tip. You can distinguish an alligator from a crocodile by paying attention to whether the animal sees you later or in a while.
Shoot. Good grief.
See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Okay, dogs look up to you. Cats look down on you.
Okay.
Give me a pig. He looks you in the eye and treats you just as an equal. Cats are more persnickety than dogs.
Right.
A dog doesn't care what you've done or where you've been or how long you've been, how many women you've been with, how drunk you are. You're that dog's master and that dog loves you.
Yeah. And cats pretty much the same too, but they love you no matter what too, it seems like, but it's kind of on their terms a little bit
You better
more.
believe
Yeah.
it, buddy.
Yeah.
When we come back from vacation,
Catty Cat would be mad, wouldn't she?
yeah, boy, we don't have anything to do with it.
For about a week, she wouldn't
But
have
the dog,
nothing to do
dog's
with it.
glad to see it.
I know. She'd be stuffed up.
Okay, turkeys, and this is turkeys are peacocks that have let themselves go. You ever watch Peacock strut?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny.
I bet if you had that many feathers to take care of, you'd strut
I'd
too.
strut too.
Listen to this. Giraffes were invented in 1780 when 3 horses accidentally swallowed a ladder. I always wondered where giraffes came from. God had a little help that day.
Yeah.
An ant is a small insect that, though always at work, will still find time to go on a picnic.
You got that right.
They do like picnics, don't they?
They sure do.
I swallowed a dictionary. It gave me thesaurus throat. Gave me the thesaurus throat I've ever had. Thesaurus. Thesaurus. Thesaurus throat I've ever had. I had an inkling I'd been working too hard at the gift shop. when at my father's funeral, I greeted all the well-wishers with "Thank you, come again." That's not what you say.
No.
It's good to ask questions during a job interview, just not these. These are actual executives heard these answers by people he conducted an interview with.
Oh, there we go.
This job interviewee said, "What does your company actually do?"
You gotta be kidding.
They didn't know anything about it, but I want a job. What do you do?
Wow.
If there is another interview, do I really need to come back to this office? It's just a bit far from my house.
And people actually said this.
That's
wow.
what it says here now. I don't know.
I'd say there's some dummies out there that have said that.
And then this one job interviewee said, "Can I come to work in my pajamas?"
Shoot. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they didn't get hired.
I told you the story about the man that was, the boss was giving him an interview. He thought, this man looks promising. I'm going to give the interview myself. And so he's giving him an interview, getting all the information he needs to know about the man.
Okay.
And finally he says, just off the cuff, real quick, "How much is 7 times 3? And he said, 23.
He said 23.
So he went home. And the man said, "I'll let you know." And he on the way home, he thought, "Well, I made a mistake. 7 times 3 is not 23. I'll never get that job."
No.
But a few days later,
21.
he got a phone call from the boss. And the boss said, "John, I've decided to hire you. Can you come to work this next Monday?" He said, "Well, yeah." But he said, "I made a terrible mistake when you asked me what 3 times 7 was. I made a mistake." He said, "But you were closer than anybody else."
Well, he was interviewing some idiots.
He needed John.
He sure did.
Now, I've had this problem with you. While teaching Roman numerals, listen to this.
Okay.
While teaching Roman numerals, the teacher says, if X is 10 and L is 50, what is XL? And the student says, "I'm not sure, but I've seen that number on some of my mother's clothes." Okay.
Oh, his
you know,
mother was ready to kill him for that.
I don't think they teach Roman numerals anymore.
No.
I've not seen it anywhere in any school I've been in.
I don't much think they do either.
XL would be 40, right?
In Roman numerals, yeah. What it is, if you put the X on the other side,
It'd be 60.
it'd be 50.
No,
60.
It'd be 60. L is 50 and X is 10.
X
If it's before the L, it's 10 less. If it's after the L, it's 10
10 more.
That's easy to learn, isn't it?
Why is this?
What's 100?
I don't. It's been a long time since I've done
But
Roman
this
numerals.
is crazy. C is 100.
For century.
Century for century.
Every 100 is a century.
Yeah.
Then M is 1,000.
Millennium.
It ought to be for million.
Yeah, that's a good
1,000 ought to
point.
be T.
They
didn't consult me when they did the Roman numerals.
They could have made it easier, dadgummit.
Okay. The teacher says, California has the San Andreas Fault. But there's also a fault line that runs through our own state, Arkansas. What is its name? The student says, asphalt. Runs all the way through their state. Oh, well.
I like that.
I can't hardly read this. The teacher says, what is the definition of adolescence? And the student said, adolescence is the period between childhood and adultery. That's what it says. I didn't make that up.
I like that.
All right.
That's funny.
My coworker was very excited at the prospect of becoming an American citizen after passing her test and interview. I just have one more thing to do, Pam said proudly. I have to go to the courthouse in a few weeks and swear at the judge.
You swear at the judge. I wonder how that worked out for her.
I bet she was deported out of the
I
country.
bet she was too. This one just says life.
This man and his wife are walking out in the desert.
Well, they're cranky looking, ain't they?
Well, he's got a gas can, so they're
Okay.
walking after gas. And here's what
They
he
sure
said.
look mad.
Here's what
Don't
she
they?
says. I
Okay.
told you the tank was half empty, but no, you said it was half full.
And the pit, they're just stranded in the desert.
Yeah, no gas. Okay, here's the scene. And the scene is the mother is texting her daughter.
Okay.
Can you picture me trying to text?
No, but I hope you do on camera. It'll be good for some comedy relief, that's for sure.
Mom said, I think I keep getting messages or missed calls or something.
Okay.
From who? The daughter said. And the mom says, someone called Betty Lowe. And the girl said, battery low.
Me and Allie just kind of looked at each other on that one, Betty Lowe. I was trying to figure that out. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That would be me.
That would be you. Yes.
I've had mine to quit. Bing!
Yeah. They're good for that. You kind of got to charge them, don't you?
My charger is gone. Casey don't know where it is, and I don't know where it is. But this is just about the third one I bought. During a consultation with her doctor before having surgery, my friend said to him, my husband wants me to ask you when I will be able to, and the doctor interrupts her, cuts her off. And he says, I'm asked this question frequently. And he leaned over to her and said, you need to wait at least 6 weeks after surgery. My friend shook her head, and she said, no. What he wanted me to ask was, when will I be able to cook for him?
He didn't care nothing about the sex part.
Most important part. I want
He
you.
wanted that food.
I'll have to say I miss Carolyn. I haven't cooked a pot of pinto beans, but Patricia cooks them.
Oh, good.
I haven't. I don't think I've hardly made anything. The two words, I told you a while ago, I read this today, the two words silent and listen
Yeah, this is...
contain the same letters arranged differently. So in whatever relationship you may be in, the best way to listen is to remain silent.
That's pretty wild. And I didn't know that till you told me that earlier.
I knew I'd read it somewhere today.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're all going to get wrinkly and die, maybe we've got to accept that. It's like what they teach you in driving school. If your car skids, turn the wheels right into it. It's counterintuitive, but don't fight the slide. You're going to get wrinkly and you're going to die. Go ahead and do it.
Right.
People...
Well, that's real optimistic.
That wasn't very... I didn't hear much laughter right there.
No.
People used to wait in line at the checkout and daydream. Now they pull out their phones and go into the digital world.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a missed opportunity to reflect, to relax, to be mindful of the moment. Creativity lives in those quiet spaces.
That's
But you know what
absolutely
people
right.
do? You know what people do when they're standing in line to get checked out?
Get on their phones.
No, they don't phone. They read the scandal magazine.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
Been some interesting articles.
I've
there.
been guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie.
I said I've seen some interesting articles.
Yeah. Nor good and dang well they're not true, and still read it.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of that.
And you know what?
And no, it's not true.
But people believe it. A lot
Yeah,
of
some people believe it. Like the National Enquirer, anything they say,
Or
you know, is not true.
professional wrestling.
Right. Yeah, some people really think that's real, don't they? They really do.
The more something scares you, the more you should do it. Listen to your elders, not because they're always right, but because they're more experienced at being wrong. Now that's me. That's me.
I like that one.
Okay, now this is true. I've got gift cards in at home that we got for Christmas. It's March the 7th. Listen to this.
And you still not used them.
Gift cards are an easy option to plan your Christmas buying around.
Oh, yeah.
But they can also be a big waste of money. An estimated $1 billion worth of cards went unredeemed in 2015.
Goodness.
$1 billion.
You're not the only one not using them.
People paid the money out but never used them. I mean, the people that got them never used them.
I don't understand why we do that. I've been
of,
guilty of that as well. But
some of the cards are for places like you don't travel that way very often.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We've got an Old Charlie's. Well, you got to go to Chattanooga to find an Old Charlie's.
Oh, yeah. Well, you go to Chattanooga, though, enough to eat at Old Charlie's.
Oh, well, this has to be the last one. After a military deployment to Afghanistan, I often questioned the toll it had taken on my family. This is not real funny. One morning after returning, I toured my children's elementary school, where the students had drawn pictures of their heroes. There were athletes, movie stars, and other famous people, but one picture stopped me in my tracks. It simply read, "My hero is my dad." The drawing was of me in uniform and was signed by my son, Ryan. Since then, that boy has graduated high school, joined the Army, and deployed in Afghanistan himself. I must say, my hero is my son.
Well, that's good.
Something else, isn't it?
I don't get the picture of a dog there, but that's good. I guess that's about another story on here.
Well, I can't always tell the stories.
I know, but you can see what I mean. That's kind of funny. New home. Oh, now I get it. You'll have to tell that story next time. Now I get why the dog's on there.
Okay. I'll check that one in.
Well, that is it for Albertology, and that is it for this week's episode of the Albert and Billy Show. Thanks for listening to us on WUAT Radio, and thanks for watching on Channel 18 Valley TV, and don't forget to check us out on YouTube. We'll see you next week right here on the Albert and Billy Show.
See you, folks.
See you later.